Okay, testing. It says I am live. I am live on YouTube. Live on YouTube. I think this camera sucks. What do you think? I think this camera sucks. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. And whoa, that's not what I want to do. That's what I want to do. Okay. Yeah. All righty, folks. I'm going to just test some stuff out right now. All right, so we're going to go to the qualifying, and let's do Norris and Piastri. And we can see we've got Norris on this side, Piastri on the other side here. And what it's going to do is just going to break down the two drivers. This is a pretty decent software. I just sometimes don't know how to use all of it. This is not what I would be using regularly when I do my stuff. So you have to excuse my son up there. He's playing his games up on there. All right, so We'll look at some speed, right? So the speed differences between both Piastri and Lando Norris. And as you can see here, we have Norris is in the orange color, Piastri is in the green. And right off the bat, couple things to notice, right? If we look at this first part of coming onto the front stretch here, and we have pretty clear difference. So if we go to right to this point here, you can see the speed differences: 336 kph versus 334. That would suggest we're getting onto the straight with a lot more speed, and we'll come to that because I can see it already in the end of the lap here. That Lando is doing a better job of. But what is interesting is if we look at it, look at the difference here. And I don't know exactly in distance. I am not great at doing math in public, and if I was, I would do that for you guys. But I am not. But if you look to this point, Piastri is going deeper on the brakes, right? He really is. He's braking a little later, couple of meters more, less. So he's going deeper on the brakes. He's got a good brake pressure coming down, and I would say for the most part, and you can even see it here, right? This constant lap right here is against Norris, and so that the one that's straight across, that would represent Lando Norris, and then the green, which is going faster or slower, will represent Piastri. So you can look at it, right? So we're already just behind, right? Just behind 14 thousandths of a second, and then we go to the brakes. Now, you go to the brakes, all of a sudden Piastri, we're 17 thousandths of a second quicker, and in fact it dips a little bit more, right? I mean, sometimes that's the difference between pole or not having pole, right? But notice what happens. So we're slowing the car down efficiently. Turn one is actually a challenging corner. It's a left-hander. It's somewhat fast, but we also need to set the car up and place the car for a good exit, which is then looking for a right-hander. And if we're too early for the right-hander, now all of a sudden we're going to get to the exit too soon with a bunch of steering angle on. So as we can see, if I just zoom back in again, if we can see, all of a sudden Lando's got that speed off reasonably early, slowing it down. All of a sudden, mid-corner speed, look at that. All of a sudden, we're looking better. Now, we've gone from being, 33 thousandths of a second to all of a sudden, right? Piastri's mucking about. He's like, got to get the car slowed down still, trying to figure it out, got it slowed down enough. But at this point, Norris is already trying to come out of the corner. And so all of a sudden, we can now see that 5 thousandths of a second here. And if we look at the whole lap, it just seems to pretty much be that whole thing all the way, right? It's pretty much gone. So now we'll get down to, we're coming back to the this back side here. So let's see, 1, 2, 3. We're now coming up to 3, and so what this shows me, if I scroll all the way down to the throttle, you can see that we're coming out. However we come out of that first part, it's flat out all the way until we get to right in here. Look, coming up to turn 4. So between 1, 2, practically flat out. There's a little bit of a slight adjustment in the car, slowing the car down, just to make sure that we've got the car where we want it as we come through into turn 2. Turn 3 now is flat out. So it's so crucial how you manage that first corner. And if we don't get it right, you will suffer, and it will suffer the whole time. And all that happened was Piastri got greedy on the brake pedal, tried to go brake a little later. It didn't help him, and he had to overslow the car. And then you can't bring that back. It's once it's gone, it's gone. So now we're coming up to turn 4. Let's take a look at it. Turn 4. This is the one up here. It actually falls away on the exit. That's where we had some in the sprint race, 2 cars came together. This was the big one in the sprint race where they actually got on the curb and crashed. So now turn 4. What do we notice about turn 4? What can we see on the data here as we go on? If I bring this across again. So there's 1, 2, there's 3, there's 4. Let's zoom in. I gotta say the same thing, right? That all of a sudden Piastri is trying to outbrake himself. The refresh rate on this data is a little bit tough. So with these kind of anomalies here, we're trying to slow the car down. Maybe he's coming off the brakes. We can confirm that if I come down. I can see the brake pedal. I mean, just look how deeper he is on the brake pedal, and then just off. And if I try to line that up, it's really hard on this software. Let's see here. Come out. Here we are. We're right here. Oh, you bugger. We're off right in this point. If I come up. Yeah, I mean, it would show that we're just literally dumping the brake pedal. Which is why we're seeing this increase of speed mid-corner coming out. And in fact, I quite like this ramp up of the throttle, but because he's again trying to carry so much speed in, it's a little bit. I gotta not push buttons. I guess I should use my iPad for this instead. Right in here, it's playing catch up. So Norris was able to slow the car down a little bit more. We can see this bit of speed that's off right up the top here, and then we're ramping up. See how slow, smooth we're on the throttle, and then he makes a mistake. I think this is a mistake right here. Right, we're increasing speed. The car's now doing something. We're not happy with it. And so we're slight lift, and then we're back to it. But we're pretty aggressive to it, right? Pretty aggressive. I prefer the ramp off of the brake. I think this is a much better brake release than our boy Piastri. If I'm honest. Let's see. Let's come back. Let's come back over. And we can see that there's, the speed comes back. Again, I'm not sure when we see these jumps, it's hard to say exactly what that is. There's nothing really in the telemetry, possibly a bit of traction controls doing something. But for the most part, I'd say that's pretty evens, right? And you can even see, from this point, if we look at the time 75.6, he's actually quick. He's done a little bit better of a job, and I would put that down to this little mistake that Norris made right here. And then if Piastri could have committed at this point, he would have actually brought back a lot more. But he couldn't. And so there's the difference in turn 4. Moving up now, turn 5 to 6. Now 5 should be flat out again. So when we're thinking about the racetrack, turn 4 is crucial. How we get through 4 is going to be how 5 happens, right? So if we're a little under at 4, we're going to be under at 5. Can't get it back, right? It's connected. And you see that when the gas pedal is just all the way down here. All right, so now we're somewhat climbing the hill. We're making a slight right turn at the top. So we're coming through 5, coming up to 6, climbing the hill. And this is just a real clumsy section. It doesn't feel great. You're not sure if you should be turning and braking, and you're trying to understand where you are. And so confidence in the car and placing the car where you want it. And if you've got good confidence in the car, that's what you're looking for. And if you just don't know where it ends up, you can get yourself pretty lost pretty quickly in these kind of areas. So again, Norris carried just a little bit more speed in that middle part. But just look at the transitions here. If we bring back, I'd say, okay, we're braking about the same place. Piastri again's a little later to the break. He's under and then he's off earlier. And just watch how that translates. Because he was later to the break and then off the break earlier, the throttle application comes up. But look how much longer he's waiting for the car to be in a good spot. And if we come up, that's exactly that area right there. Is exactly that area of where you want the car to be. So we're on the brakes a little earlier. We're on the brake a little later on that point. But as soon as we're done, we can feel confident in building and keep building the throttle. And then just look at that, right? This section right here, we come across, bring it across here, up to the top. And then, right, so we've gained it all back. And then, boom, look at this. Watch how all of a sudden things change. Really dramatic. Really dramatic here, right in this section. Boom. So we've gone from being right in here to, just under a 10th off to look at this. 10th faster. Man, again, pole right here. Absolutely pole. But what happened? So all of a sudden, we're like, okay, Delta's great, looking awesome. And it was literally done. Let's see. It was done. Let's see. Time's coming back here. Onto the brake. Pressure was good. I would say if we go to the top here, I bet you it's just based on speed. Look at that. So Norris comes up, positive on the brakes, slowing it down, and look at the difference. This is slowing the car down enough. This one just isn't. And so all of a sudden, right, we are quicker. We are a 10th faster, but look what it translates to. Too quick. Now we get to the second part of the corner, which would be that 6, 7, 8, right? And boom, we've lost it. Because look, we've translated to this short increase of speed. And again, the speed, we've gone from a 10th. We're now a 10th faster, but now all of a sudden, we get to this area right here, and now we're the same, right? We're losing it again. And it's because he got greedy on the brake pedal again, tried to carry more speed in, got himself into a bit of a bother. Norris seems to be a little bit more precise. Brake, get it turned, and then go. Piastri's chasing the car. He's trying to extract stuff out of the car that's just not there yet. I think it is mental. If I was looking at this, I would say this is absolutely mental in this case. Again, later to the brake. Norris is earlier to the brake. Norris is off the brakes, rolling that speed gently. There's nothing crazy going on. Hold on, let me bring it in. I gotta work through this a little bit. Here we go. All right. So we can see it. Boom. Speed starts going slower. We start suffering simply because we got greedy on the way in. Couldn't do anything on the way out. And now we're behind because now we're too far in. We've placed the car in the wrong spot. And now we're chasing. The exit suffers again. And this exit's a big one. So all of a sudden, you've gone from being okay, there or thereabouts, superstar, to then, oh, I'm now going slower. And again, same thing happens again. Just look at this, right? We're trying to now play catch up. We're slow way down. He probably sees it on his delta. Something's not right. So he goes, all right, I'm going big. He brakes later, trying to chase the time. Brakes later. Norris is earlier. You get to the middle part of the corner. They can't point the car and go. You can't let it go where you want to go. So now, again, the throttle can't be applied. This is classic. Throttle coming on now by Norris. Good throttle. You look at Piastri, look how much he has to wait. I mean, he's waiting on that thing. Then he can go. And that turned into, again, a 10th on the way in. Again, looked like a superstar to all of a sudden, right up until the next breaking point, we're now a 10th off, right? A 10th off. It's a problem. It's a problem. And again, guess what he does? Out off again, screws it up again, and now we're on the underneath, right? And if we keep going with this, you're gonna see this just keeps getting worse and worse. So now, again, Norris is braking a little earlier, gets the car where he needs to be in the middle of the corner. Right here is the middle. We're already on the throttle. Car's pointed. Good to go. Look at Piastri chasing the brake again. Over fast in the middle of the corner, right? Having to get the car slowed down, but further into the corner, which then means he can't accelerate and get onto the gas pedal. He can't go, right? He's under. So look at this. Boom. Now we're under. Now we're seeing, another 10th. And this just keeps happening over this whole lap. Look, boom, right in here, right in here. And if we look at the classic last corner, this is, I mean, if you want to get one nailed, the last corner is the one that you need to get nailed. Let me try and get that in again. Oh, let me come out. I want to go here. I want to go right here. I want to zoom in, and then I want to bring it across so we can see it. All right. Again, look, he's chasing the time. Look how much. I mean, that's huge. All right. We're 10th off. We're now going to trying to match. We're like, yeah, this is going to be great. It's too much speed, too much speed, too much speed. Can't do anything. I'm stuck. Norris just got the car placed in a much better place, broke a little earlier. Actually, what is interesting here, look, the throttle Piastri lift and coast, it looks like, to keep that minimum speed high, and then transitions to the brake. Norris is off to the brake, unless something else was going on there, which is a strange one, because that's a really strange place to be doing that, honestly. Right, and then just look how much it suffers. Boom, like all the way down here. It's 0.3 of a second, and a lot of it again is just by overdriving the car. Right, we're just overdriving the car. He's trying to make the car work harder than it needs to, and you can just see here, right? If Norris is able to get the car slowed down sooner, brake earlier, get the car pointed, and then go. That's a very calm approach. It looks right. When you look at Piastri, that's what you're seeing right there. It's real late. He's trying to break to the late, trying to force the car to go in, and that's what you get. That's what you get. So those are my thoughts. I think looking at the data now, I would suggest that it is a 100% he's over driving the car. Absolutely overdriving the car. If we look, let's see. This is steering angle, right? That's a lot of correction right into here, right? When you peak that high and it's so different, that's a lot of wheel. That's going to be between 13 and 14. We're asking for something there. I couldn't tell you what he's asking for, but he's just not happy with that car. Again, look at this right here. Having to turn more. Wait. This is getting the car. Sorry, that is not. That is lateral acceleration. My apologies. Do they have steering angle on this thing? I don't think they do. All right, well, I should have read that before. All right, well, that's my take. That is my take. That again backs up the amount of brake pressure that you're seeing that we're having to carry, or even off and on again in this one. That's going to make the car really unstable when you do stuff like this. So if you like it, guys, give me a comment. Give me your thoughts. I'll be doing more of these, and yeah, see how we go. And that is that is my live, and I'm going to end it there.